guys, welcome back. I am Tiffany Tait with Unorthodox Group Inc. So we are jumping right on in. If you like these social work side hustles and you want to figure out how to get this money up this year, which is what we're doing, make sure that you hit that subscribe button below and the little bell to let you know when a new video drops. We are jumping right on into grant writing. So, what is a grant writer? The grant writer is simply the person that's responsible for gathering all the information from a company and completing all the applications and submitting that on behalf of an organization or a company who's submitting a proposal or a request for a grant. So that organization is usually going to be a nonprofit or an organization that's in a startup phase, but we're really focusing on the nonprofit grant writing today. Your job as a grant writer would be to work on behalf of that organization or nonprofit, gather their information, do your research to determine what grants they may qualify for in their space, and then you're putting all that information together, creating the proposal, submitting the application, and sometimes even the compliance person that follows to make sure they stay in line. But that part's totally up to you. Step 2, what does it look like? So this job as a grant writer is very office-based. If you're an individual who enjoys client contact and engagement, this isn't it. This job is really an office-based job, a lot of reading. People who are like compliance-minded or administratively minded may very much like this gig. You're really focusing on gathering information, reading that information, really comprehending what the proposal is asking for, and being able to eloquently put the information from that organization or agency and nonprofit into the right terms and get that together so they apply the right way for that grant. This job takes a lot of patience, right? A lot of reading, a lot of meticulous characteristics. So this is somebody who reads very well, can understand what they're reading, put together applications appropriately, have really good writing skills. You need to have good writing and pitch skills to kind of get this organization in the front of the line to obtain this grant. Step 3, research. We're going to take some time and figure out if this is for us, if this side hustle is something we can do, right? So just go online and Google some grants in your area. Our business Paradigm and Unorthodox are located in Plantation, Florida. I would look up, I would Google grants for organizations in Broward County, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, things of that nature, right? Or remote grants for women mentorship companies, things of that nature. Play around and see what any kind of grants you can get your hands on. We're not looking to apply for a grant at this stage. We're simply looking for the grant's language. I want you to go and research it and see, does that language make sense to you? Can you comprehend what they're asking for? Can you gather that information if you were in an organization? And would you be able to put together the package that they're asking for to apply for this grant? You're not actually doing any of the work. What you're doing is researching to make sure this kind of side hustle makes sense to you. Not every side hustle is for every person, right? So does this make sense to you? Does this interest you? Or does this seem tedious and not up your alley? You're going to take 5 minutes out of your day and just go research some grants, see if this makes sense to you, and see if you can conceptualize putting this together. You do not have to have the grant writing skill at this stage. All we're talking about at this stage is the interest. If you're interested, we're moving on in research and we're going to research the actual grant writing positions. So now we're going back to Indeed. I'm always dropping Indeed, I know, because it's simple. And you're going to Google grant writing positions, period. It could be either in your area or remotely. A lot of these are remote gigs these days. And you're going to look up, what is that position looking for? Are they looking for a grant writer with specific credentials? Are they looking for a grant writer that's going to be on site? Are they looking for a grant writer that has a particular set of experience in a particular agency? Or are they looking for a grant writer that has access to the grant banks? There are some services that you can only find grants kind of in these paid service banks that you have to kind of search through. Are they looking for a grant writer that comes with that access? Your job at this research stage is to go look for the grant writing positions that you may qualify for and figure out how to get that position. What is that position looking for? That's what you're doing at the research stage. Step 4, getting it done. If you're still here after you went through that process, through the research, you may actually be interested in starting up a side hustle doing grant writing. So let's jump right on in. The first place you're going to want to do is go look up grant writing associations. And this is a general rule of thumb. Whatever your expertise is, you want to find a professional association attached to that, because it's how you kind of grow within that expertise. So you're looking for grant writing associations that you can join. Even if you've never written a grant, even if you've never taken a grant writing course, you still want to join. The benefit of these organizations are they're usually minimal in terms of cost, but they have a ton of resources, trainings, connections, networking events, drops on jobs or contracts that are coming up. So you really want to look for those kind of professional associations and join that. Also look on Facebook, grant writing clubs. You want to start to build your network around grant writers so that you can figure out how to get that information, how to get trained, and how to get those jobs. So you're jumping in, you're looking for grant writing associations, professional groups for grant writers, looking for free grant writing certifications. People don't realize you can get free grant writing certifications. Very popular these days, very easy to get your hands on. Google grant writing workshops, grant writing courses. You can do this for free and become the expert right now. Do not be distracted. Go and look for it. It's literally on the internet with zero startup money. You can go get certified, join these organizations, and start getting paid. So that's step 5. How do you get paid as a grant writer? Usually on an hourly basis. You're simply charging per hour for your services. How much you charge is up to you. I've seen this go from $75 an hour to $150 an hour. You're setting your rate, you're setting your time, and you're usually charging for the time it takes to research and write and submit. The one thing you cannot do, and I want to be really clear about this these days, you cannot write yourself into the grant. 15 years ago, that was a normal thing. It's not okay anymore. You cannot write yourself into the grant. You either need, and what I mean by writing yourself into the grant is to say, if you get this grant, you'll pay me 10% of whatever the grant was, instead of upfront money. There's a number of reasons you can't do that. Lots of laws and tax issues that say why we can't do that we won't get into today, but you're not writing yourself into the grant. You're charging an upfront, either flat fee for the grant writing kind of support, or an hourly rate based on what you provide. That is up to you, and that's after you do your market research. So if you're interested in grant writing, I suggest you go ahead and start joining these associations, taking these certification courses that you can find for free online, and hitting that subscribe button below so that you always know when we're dropping these new social work side hustle videos. We will see you guys in about a week or two when we have another one. You know, we pop these in and out when we have them. Have a great week, guys.